we more or less know that who are these ministers who will be sworn in at 7:15 p.m. The big message that is coming from the Prime Minister certainly is that parampara or tradition is continuing with that gesture of hosting all these Council of Ministers, and the other message is, of course, of continuity.
Absolutely, Maria, and I think there's also an attempt to balance the regional aspirations of states, and also when it comes to age, because while you have Ram Nath Singh from UP, you also have Jitin Prasada, and you also have the senior most MP from Shiv Sena in Maharashtra, Pratap Rao Jadhav, who basically was the only Shiv Sena MP to win from the region of Bihar that was completely swept by Congress, apart from Nitin Gadkari winning his seat. You also have younger MPs like Muralidhar Mohol, who has served as Pune Mayor, or Raksha Khadse. So clearly there seems to be an attempt to balance the age factor, having a combination of both young and old MPs. As of now, we have 50 names already, which means that it is not going to be as lean a cabinet as it was in 2014. We have to wait and see if it's going to be more than what it was in 2019, because we had about 57 members there. But clearly there are more allies this time, so obviously those have to be accommodated. But clearly the larger message is with the inclusion of Amit Shah, Raj Nath Singh, Nitin Gadkari, Ashwini Vaishnav, Piyush Goyal, Gajendra Singh Shekhawat, Nirmala Sitharaman, all these big names who have been instrumental in not just mobilizing governance of Narendra Modi's administration, but also in some ways have been experienced with organization as well. Like, if you look at Amit Shah, Raj Nath Singh, and of course Nitin Gadkari, they have been former party presidents as well, and this is going to be, it's going to be Amit Shah's second term and Raj Nath Singh's third term, Nitin Gadkari's third term, like the Prime Ministers. So clearly there is a message out there that the tried and tested people have been accommodated, and newer people have also been given a chance and opportunity. Of course, states which voted for the BJP in huge numbers have been rewarded, like Telangana with 8 seats has gotten 2 people, Sanjay Bandi and Kishan Reddy. There's a balancing of upper caste Reddy and also the OBC factor. And with respect to Maharashtra, while the drop from 43 to 17 is huge, there are, the kind of people who have made it, including the Sena, means that the party is not giving up on a state like Maharashtra because it's too crucial, too critical to be given up. Of course, you already have S. Shankar and Nirmala Sitharaman, which means that there is a lot of emphasis on domain expertise. You have Ashwini Vaishnav, Hardeep Puri, which means that there is not going to be any compromise on governance and administrative experience, while a lot of us, including me, did think that caste and representation will take over, technocracy and also, administrative domain experience. That doesn't seem to be the case, because the hallmark of Modi governance has been, giving importance to bureaucrats who understand politics, political governance, and that seems to be continuing in Modi 3.0 as well. I'm right in front of 7 LKM, and, we can see cars, people have actually left. Mr. Khattar left a short while ago. Kishan Pal Gujar just left like 5-6 minutes ago. So, after this, of course, the stage remains, stage will get set for the cabinet formation and also the oath-taking ceremony, which is likely to happen at 7:15.
Yes, and I'll bring in all the guests who are joining us. Vasudha, feel free to pitch in with your thoughts and questions. Let me bring in Professor Jyotsna, National Spokesperson of the TDP. We also have Anjum Ara of the JDU, Aarti Jairat, Senior Journalist, Sanjay Kumar, Psephologist, Professor of CSDS, Radhika Khera, Spokesperson of the BJP. Aarti Jairat, what is something that you have found as the big messaging, even as the leaders arrived, the meeting got over, and now they have left for their homes? What do you think are the 3 big takeaways?
Well, the very fact that despite all the speculation that was going on, the BJP has retained the main big portfolios which comprise the Cabinet Committee on Security. Despite all the speculation that was going on about Amit Shah, he will remain in the cabinet. I think that's very important, because he is Narendra Modi's right-hand man and has been functioning virtually as his second in command, ever since he became Home Minister. So those are messages. And of course, the accommodation of allies has to happen, because this is now a coalition government. So you can see that he's sort of picking, at least one leader from every coalition partner, at least one, and the ones that have more MPs will probably have more berths, in the MOS category. So, this is going to be, I think, ultimately a fairly large government with lots of ministers, because you have to accommodate your coalition partners. And importantly, Maria, he will have to accommodate the aspirations of his own leaders, because, there are important assembly elections coming up over the next 1.5 years. And the BJP has done badly in some of these states that are going to polls. So I think that, he cannot ignore the aspirations of his own party leaders. And maybe if not today, but maybe there will be a cabinet expansion a few months down the line where he will have to bring in BJP leaders so that there is no unrest in his party.
And Sanjay Kumar, what do you think are the big takeaways? Of course, we'll be waiting for the swearing-in ceremony to happen, and then we'll get more clarity of the caste balance, the regional balance, the gender balance. But based on those leaders who entered 7 LKM for the high tea, what do you think is the messaging coming in from Prime Minister Modi 3.0?
I think the big message, Maria, is that yes, BJP doesn't have a majority. BJP will be running a coalition government. But I think the initial signal is that there is not going to be any compromise on what BJP has been calling like taking country to the path of development. Yes, there were speculation about whether Amit Shah is going to get the home ministry or not. But if you look at all the senior people who were there present in the meeting, it gives a clear signal that yes, it is a coalition government. Consensus will be more required compared to the past election, but consensus doesn't mean that BJP has to bow down to the pressure and pulls of the regional parties or their alliances. I think that's a clear message which is being sent out by the names which are floating or the names which has been finalized for the cabinet minister from the BJP's point of view.
Yes, so the Prime Minister's focus of governance has been emphasis on policy which has to do with foreign policy, in particular the emphasis on reimagined policy with regards to finance, and also on the thrust has been on infra projects, and that is the reason why we are seeing return of Mr. Nitin Gadkari, return of Ashwini Vaishnav. So the core team of Prime Minister Modi very much intact. Radhika Khera is something that we can, at the moment conclude.
See, I can neither confirm the list nor deny it. But from what we see from the sources, the list that is out, this puts an end to the speculation and the things that the Indi Gadbandhan was saying, that it's going to be a very weak government, the BJP is going to have to cede space, Modi ji is not going to be able to run. So every day, curtains are raised over the fact that what the Indian alliance keep on saying, that it's going to be a weak government, the government is not going to last, BJP is not going to be running it, or sometimes they say that the allies will run away. So with the list out here, it's very clear that the BJP government is very strong, the NDA government is very strong, and we're going to run a very good government which is going to take forward the economic reforms, strengthen us globally, strengthen the social economic reforms that were planned in the last 10 years and have to take them forward. So that is a very clear picture that India is going to, in the next 5 years, go way ahead of where it was in the last 10 years. And also new developments and new ideas that Modi ji has planned for India will all be taken forward. That is what is absolutely clear with this list.
Okay, so we have got the first set of visuals that has come in from the Prime Minister's office, and I would request the studio director to put those visuals out. We'll get a clear picture of who all are seated, and that will give us a clear indication of who is in the cabinet, who is not there. But yes, this is the Council of Ministers. So the Council of Ministers has the cabinet. It has the MOSs and ministers with independent charge. So those visuals have come in, and we'll be putting that out immediately on our television screens. Anjum Ara is joining us. We also have Professor Jyotsna. Professor Jyotsna, looking at the two names that we have from the TDP, One is Ram Naidu, who's getting a cabinet berth. The other one is P. Chandrasekhar, who's getting Minister of State. Mr. Ram Mohan is likely to be the youngest cabinet minister, one is saying at 38. He is the son of former Union Minister, late Lalan Naidu, and Guntur MP. Dr. Chandrasekhar is an NRI doctor who also carries the tag of being one of the richest MPs. So those are the visuals. We can see the Prime Minister, in fact, interact with his Council of Ministers. Jyotiraditya Scindia was seen. He is, of course, he had the portfolio of civil aviation. You know, we can see all those. Mr. Lalan Singh of the JDU, Nirmala Sitharaman seated there. Also, HD Kumaraswamy, who will be taking oath from the JDS quota. Then you have yes, Jayan Chaudhary there on our screens, Mr. Athawale there on our screen, Mr. Bittu from, yes, Dharmendra Pradhan also there from Odisha. So clearly the messaging here is Jayan Chaudhary, Jitin Prasada from Uttar Pradesh, that is Prahlad Joshi, who was serving as the Parliamentary Affairs Minister. All of them are seated. So Mr. Mansukh Mandavia. We can see all of them. Shivraj Singh Chauhan as well. So Shivraj Singh Chauhan, at the moment there is no clear indication whether he is in the CCS, but C.R. Patil can be seen there on your screen. So the big faces are there, and we have all the clarity that has come in. Bhupendra Yadav, Giriraj Singh, all of them are present. Apna Dal's Anupriya Patel. Some surprise faces or some names that we do not know at the moment, but this is an inclusive cabinet. The government of continuity is the message. Nirmala Sitharaman, next to her is Dharmendra Pradhan, who played a crucial role in ensuring that the BJP comes up with a decisive mandate in the state of Odisha. Anjum Ara of the JDU, please come in. I can see the two JDU faces in this cabinet. So certainly, you know, it is going to be a Modi NDA cabinet which will be sown in, and the NDA government which is going to be sown in. अंजुम आरा जी, अगर आप सुन सकती हैं।
हेलो
जी, अंजुम आरा जी, अगर आप सुन सकती हैं।
जी, आवाज अभी आने लगी।
जी। सो ये जो तस्वीर दिख रही है उसमें सब लोग मौजूद हैं, और आपकी तरफ से, जदयू की तरफ से 2 मंत्री, उनका भी चेहरा दिख रहा है।
जी मारिया जी, बहुत सुकून मिल रहा है। अभी जो मैं आपके स्क्रीन पे इस तस्वीर को देख रही हूँ कि देशवासियों ने एक बहुत ही सशक्त लीडरशिप को चुना है, और तमाम जो आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री जी का जो कैबिनेट, शायद ये कैबिनेट की तस्वीरें हैं जो 6 बजे 6:30 बजे शपथ लेने वाले हैं। इन लोगों के ऊपर देश ने एक बहुत मजबूत जवाबदेही दिया है। जवाबदेही इस बात का कि देश को सशक्त राष्ट्र बनाया जाए, जवाबदेही इस बात की कि देश में अमन चैन और खुशहाली होगी और देश हमारी तरक्की करेगा। हमारी ढेर सारी शुभकामनाएं तमाम जीते हुए निर्वाचित सांसदों को और इंटायर टीम को। जी, अभी ऑफिशियली मारिया जी हम लोगों को इस बात को मैं नहीं पुष्टि करूंगी कि जिस दो नाम की चर्चा आपने आदरणीय ललन बाबू की और आदरणीय रामनाथ ठाकुर साहब की, तो ऑफिशियली आधिकारिक तौर पे हम लोग को जानकारी नहीं, लेकिन सूत्रों के हवाले से या फिर जो आप लोग के माध्यम से है कि ये 2 नाम है, और संभवतः यही 2 नाम आज शपथ लेंगे मंत्रिमंडल में।
हाँ, उनको मंत्रालय मिलेगा। प्रोफेसर ज्योत्सना,
मंत्रिमंडल
जी, ये जो 2 नाम हैं टीडीपी के, उनके बारे में जरा दर्शकों को बताइए।
Maria, these two are one of the youngest. I think definitely, जैसे आपने बोला है राम मोहन नायडू जी का, he's been I think this time वो तो 3री बार MP बन चुके हैं, and also वो हमेशा आंध्रा के बारे में, आंध्रा में जो हो रहा है उसके बारे में हमेशा अपनी आवाज पार्लियामेंट में सुनाए सो आदमी हैं, and we are very proud of both of them because in their particular fields, whether it is politics for Ram Mohan Naidu garu or whether it is for the medical field and the industrial side for Dr. Pemasani Chandrasekhar, both of them have excelled their fields, and we are really proud of them, and seeing them in the cabinet is something that we are really proud of, and we are very sure they are going to be I think fulfilling their responsibilities with lot of commitment and dedication. There is no doubt about this because they have a proven track record, Maria. We have seen Ram Mohan Naidu earlier also because when it was even from 2014 to 2019, when we were in the NDA government, or from 2019 to 24, when we were not in the NDA government, both the times he was very vocal when it comes to Andhra Pradesh issues, whether it was the railway zone issue, whether it was the rights and interests of the people of Andhra Pradesh, and also many other things when it concerned this as a country and a whole. He's been one of the youth icon in politics for most of the people. He conducts regularly he conducts classes, and in fact, if you remember, Maria, he was the person who had done this revolutionary thing. He said, my wife is pregnant, but I will also go on paternity leave because that is my duty as well. So we have seen a lot of good things. We have heard a lot of good things about both these individuals, especially Dr. Pemasani Chandrasekhar, who is a first-time MP from Guntur. He is one of those individuals who comes from a very humble background. I think one of the his native place is a very rural village in somewhere near Guntur, and he rose to an extent today that he has become a mark in his particular field. He has worked in US. He has done a lot of good things in his particular field, and he said, no, I have to come back to my state and work in my state for the betterment of my people and for the development of my state. So seeing both of them up there in the cabinet is something probably we are really proud of, and we know they can do justice to their roles, and they surely can represent the aspirations of the entire nation, not just Andhra Pradesh, but the entire nation, Maria.
Okay, coming back to Aarti Jairath and Sanjay Kumar, the two analysts on the show. Dr. S. Jaishankar can be seen. Seated next to him is Nirmala Sitharaman. Then you have, and on the other side is Dharmendra Pradhan. Then Mr. Khattar can be seen. Other ministers can be seen as well. So I think it's a clear picture of what the new Council of Ministers is. Aarti, this interaction that the Prime Minister does with his incoming council, I think it's high on messaging all the time. I mean, it's almost a roadmap which is unveiled. And with BJP at 240, they are in a position of strength.
Of course they are. I mean, if you compare it to previous coalition governments, where the pivot of the government or the largest party was at best 182 seats under Vajpayee, and of course the Congress in its second term got 200 and something seats. But, this is 240 seats, which is fairly strong. And, it's interesting how much Prime Minister Modi relies on tried and trusted people. As you see, I mean, there are so many familiar faces from Modi 2.0 who are sitting in that room and who are obviously going to be key people in his new Council of Ministers. And, because Prime Minister Modi, once he begins to trust you, he really relies on you and he leaves a lot of responsibility to you. So and since that is part of the continuity and the change is coming with all the new faces and, the allies who are coming in, this is the change that is there in Modi 3.0. So you've got change with continuity, which is an interesting message. And I would really love to be a fly on the wall to hear what he's telling the ministers.
Yeah, but I think, the preparations for Modi 3.0 began much before the results. Prime Minister had communicated to his Council of Ministers, I mean, at that time, and also had got the bureaucrats who are various secretaries of various departments to come up with roadmap and plans for the next 100 days. So that 100-day plan is very much on the anvil, and we'll start seeing that, very sooner than later. Sanjay Kumar, your assessment when we look at these faces?
Maria, I think the message is, the Prime Minister is trying to give the message, or the government is trying to give the message that it is a continuity. Yes, when the counting was taking place and for the couple of days after the counting, the perception got created as if BJP has lost the election, even though India has a majority. So there was a kind of a hue and cry perception that BJP has lost election. And there were also whispers about, like India Gadbandhan trying to form the government. So all those dust seems to have settled down. Prime Minister Modi is trying to give a message that this is a continuity of the previous government. There is no ifs and buts. The government will move on the path of development. As you can see, the same old faces, mostly same old faces, trying to send out a message of his command over the cabinet. Even if he would be leading a coalition government.